So good evening and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live in the Full Speed Events studio. We're down underground once again. It's nice and warm down here, and it's going to get even hotter because we have the Women's Only Wednesday, and we know that action is going to be mad once the go is given. Really, really critical for our riders to make sure they know what they're doing. So that is basically stay around the yellow. When the go goes, go like hell for the finish. It's really quite simple. Need a hand, been racing too hard on the ZRL, legs feeling like lead, or eating too many chockies like a certain Joe Munden. No, was it Holly? It was Holly, I think, who was eating too many chockies. In the staff room, then please do feel free to jump on the red bus driven by Joe Munden tonight. As always, got to say a massive thank you to the people who support the Chaingang, so the members of the DCG gang and anyone who donates to get the show on the road. And if you are a regular donator, one of our members of the supporters club, don't forget 3 pairs of custom. Guess what? Oakley's going to be heading your direction for 3 lucky members of the DCG gang. They're going to be drawn a little bit later in the month. You have until the end of this week to join, and at that point, then we will be closing the lines. And at that point, then you won't be eligible for the draw for the 3 custom Oakleys. And when I say custom, I mean fully custom. Any type, any set of lenses, whatever you want writing on them, that can all go on there. If you want to declare your undying love for full speed events, for the downhill cycling and for the chain gang across them in multiple letters, just feel free. But personally, I keep it quite short and simple. However, it's up to you. And hopefully it's going to go to somebody who is a regular supporter, which I'm sure it will, or maybe a new supporter, which is just as good, to be fair. Now, let's head out onto our route. We are in one of my favourite routes to race and one of my least favourite routes to ride. We are in the one and only Innsbruck Ring. It's a 37k route, leading of 0.2k, 4 laps of 8.8k with a finish at 35.4 kilometres. So basically 4 laps of the circuit. The key part of this circuit, though, is the fact that you've got a leg snapper on there, and that is where the height gain really comes in. That was very obvious once we head out and round which bit that is, but let's make it even more obvious still. It's there. It's that pointy horrible thing that comes in 5k into the circuit, and it takes you up to the high point on the course. So Innsbruck Ring, it's 8.8k round. We come out the start lane, we turn left, and we go around this in clockwise direction. It's 4 laps. At the end of 4 laps, you've then got a nice warm down to get your legs rolled back out again. Let's see who's in charge. Well, it is the one and only Terminator, the T.20, Tracy Seeley, absolute regular. Your yellow beacon. Now, this is all about staying with yellow. So if you can stay with the yellow until that go, then you'll find that it ramps up. Mopping up behind is the one and only Joe Munden. And this is one of my favourite pictures of Joe smashing away in through the Ford at the moment for the CryoGen team. And great to see that Joe, one of our regulars, taking up the red beacon duties as well. Now, let's take a look at the riders. We are into the last 10 seconds. And joining me down in the Full Speed Events HQ, although not on full commentary duties tonight, in an advisory role only, basically to clip me around the ears when I get it wrong, is Emma. And so our riders are away. Let's jump in first of all with our yellow beacon. So our riders up and away. Emma, welcome down to the studios. Great to have you down here. I know you're basically only here just to keep an eye on what's going on, but great to see so many riders down here.
It is. It's fantastic to see so many people on the start line, and really good to be down in the studio with you today, Matt. I couldn't sit upstairs and watch. I just had to come down here, and then I can't help picking up a microphone.
Well, that is the way it goes, isn't it? I have to say, it's not unusual for you to pick up a microphone. It is something that you've been doing fairly regularly, but you were busy last night like a lot of our riders, weren't you?
Yes, but I was busy in everybody's ears, so I DS'd rather than raced last night, and the Ionian Chicas had an absolute corker of a race again. So it's been a fantastic thing to do this season, whilst not racing the ZRL, working in everybody's ears and DSing the ZRL.
Well, got to say, looks like a decent-sized group of riders. We're going to just try and jump in with just the right group here today. So key is to stay around yellow, guys. So we need you to try and get yourselves in with the yellow beacon. Aim here is to get as close as you can. Now, I think we are going to be having a little bit of fun and games with a couple of dropouts. A quick reminder, if you find yourself off the back, the rider you need to look out for is our red beacon. Now, we have been having a few fun and games. Joe Mund is our red beacon, and I'm sure probably our riders can see the red beacon. However, on fan view, we're struggling. So Joe is your red beacon for the evening here. Joe just tucked in, and let's see how everybody rolls along. Remember, getting into that group is key. Just watching at the moment, one of our newer riders in here. And I think this is going to be Angela Valley. Angela just pushing on, no doubt to get into the bunch. So remember, the aim of the game is to stay around yellow. No hero moments going off the front, no Muppet moments. Trying to sprint away clear. There's no prizes for doing this. So we finish down on the lap at the end of the last lap. So basically you finish down on the start lap line on the way through. The group together by the look of it. So the Chaingang all together. So the lap line is our UCI lap line. It's a full lap, but we don't finish at the top of the leg snap. That would just be mean. Very tempting, but mean. And there is a reason for that, isn't there, Emma? And that's you design the routes, you pick the routes. The aim is to get yourself back down, basically to give the chasers a little bit of a incentive to go after anybody if they're broken clear.
Yeah, it does indeed. So we mix and match the courses, and we will indeed have some after-party courses mixed in there where we do finish at the top of the climb, but not tonight. And part and parcel of key to this course, as we all know, is to be careful going over the top of that climb, because if you've got a gap at the top of that climb, 1 or 2 seconds, and you let it go, the momentum that descent gives you, we've seen some amazing attacks and some groups trying to work to bring them back before on this course, and they've not made it.
Well, just watching Angela Webster, one of the riders who we've seen before on here, just pushing on a late join, should be able to get straight back into the back of that group. Able to push at the moment, 4.5 watts per kilo, so looks very close. So remember, aim of the game, stay with that yellow beacon. The yellow beacon will control the pace, and then it will steadily build. It's totally within the hands of our yellow beacon, and our yellow beacon today is the one and only Tracy Seeley, the Terminator 2.0 herself, with the Terminator Oakley glasses on. Yep, definitely got them on, which is great to see. And one of the reasons that we have the Chaingang on the different routes, Emma, isn't it, is to teach different skills in terms of Zwift. That's been key since, in fact, this very first DCG. The aim was to teach people how to ride Zwift and to give you the skills that enable you to race better.
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, flat course is completely around thinking about the draft and how to keep recovery and your heart rate low whilst you're in a large pack and moving at pace, you know. And like you said, Matt, different courses for different tactics, different techniques, things that we've talked before when we've ridden through Sand and Sequoias, for example, about the use of cadence and how cadence is beneficial when you've got a rolling course on Zwift. But also, different courses suit different styles of riding, different attacking types, and we always want there to be something for everybody on the Donny Chaingang. So on the WOW DCG, different courses suit different riders. We've got great climbers, we've got great sprinters, and also, you know, we've got different techniques to learn as well. So something for everybody is the name of the game.
Excellent. Now, looks like the gang all holding together nicely, and the pace all in there. 1 or 2 sore legs on the after the weekend's riding. I think there's going to be a few people hovering around the back, because we've seen some really exciting racing on Friday, on Saturday, and yesterday as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of people nursing some very, 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 very sore legs, lungs, and pretty much everything else, I think.
Oh, it was really interesting yesterday. The ZRL course was on the climbing part of the Richmond course, so ignore the first half, which is flat. Let's put 4 or 5 laps of racing on the climbing sections of Richmond afterwards. So it really was recovery effort, recovery effort, recovery effort, constant for most riders for around 50 minutes to an hour.
Well, I'm loving the comment from Tracy Seeley that went, there's going to be no girls don't get sore legs. Well, I'll tell you something, Tracy. You and I going out for a ride, I'll make sure you've got sore legs on the way through. Or you could go out with Emma, and she'll might give you a set of sore legs on the way through. Maybe not right at this moment in time. Always, you know, that phrase, if it doesn't hurt, then you ain't going hard enough. Well, it's not quite true. We don't actually totally believe in that, but it is definitely the case that we're looking to be on there. Now, we will try, as we come round, to paste it down on to the board, the link to the live commentary. I know a number of people are on there, and it will be up. It's on the Facebook page of Donny Chaingang. It's on the Downing Cycling and Full Speed Events YouTube live feed coming out. And we will also stick those links up. The Facebook page, that is then also, of course, the Downing Cycling YouTube feed and the Full Speed YouTube feed as well. If you give us a subscribe, then you'll get yourself back on. Now, we're just seeing a bit of a break up here. We've got a little bit of a group just being drifted off the back here. So we're going to need a little bit of control from those on the front. I think there's 1 or 2 people maybe just squeezing on a little bit at the front. Not too bad, but there's some of our regulars in here. So just taking a look, there's a few people pushing along, just trying to keep in with this. This is who is just at my, just down in the commentary desk actually behind me. One of my favourite kits.
Is it now? I'm not surprised. It's exceptionally colourful and all over the place, and that is the type of kit you prefer, Matt.
Colourful and all over the place could be also describe my personality at the moment.
It could.
It's very colourful and very all over the place. That is for sure. In fact, all over the place sums up where we're going to be on commentary, because remember, we don't have a live feed tomorrow. So tomorrow, no live feed. Now, I think one of the things that's key on live feed for people is to know where everybody is. You can see that we've got 1 or 2 riders. They're still pushing 2 watts per kilo, but they need a little bit of assistance to get back on here. Just seeing Noble at the moment and LM as well. Just getting a little bit distanced from the main group. So really, really key to make sure that you drop back, give a little bit of a help to Amy, and I think it's going to be Lisa. So just getting distance just a little bit off the back. So if you're feeling strong, have a roll back, see if you can pull some of our riders back onto the front. Remember, the aim of the game is to stay around yellow.
Yeah, and we can see there, Matt, the group's coming back, and indeed our yellow beacon is coming back to ensure that the group do as well and bring that group together, which is absolutely key earlier on. You know, always really good to see the group going round for the first 10-15 minutes together to warm up those legs before the action starts later.
So here we go, up on to the infamous leg snapper climb. Now, this is a climb I personally love to race because it is a bit of a sprint fest, but it's a long one and it can make life very, very difficult. Now, you can just see at the moment a little bit stretched out here as we come up on to the climb. The aim here, of course, to get everybody together and hold together, because you come up over the top. If you remember that profile, it is a very pointy top to the climb. If you think all climbs are pointy, they're not. You can have a rolling summit, and that gradual transition from ascent to descent allows people to get back on again. This is not one of those. Basically, you're either going uphill or you're going downhill, and the transition can take fractions of a second. Because of that, the gaps will open, and that makes life very, very difficult to keep everything together. So really, really key. So the aim to stay around that yellow beacon, make sure you get nice and close, and then remember that the pace will ramp up. Our beacons at the back, our red beacon just rolling along, trying to make sure. Now, Jo did say she'd had a really tough race yesterday, actually, on the course out on Libby Hill. So it's basically the Libby Hill circuit, time and time again, plus the Broad Street climb, plus the climb to the finish. But then instead of going off round Fan Flats, you turned left and dived back down again, time and time again. Really, really hard course to ride and race, and it absolutely does rip your legs apart. Now, as you can see from the map, as you go over the top, the riders are well and truly strung out, and that is to do with the way that the group will open as you go over the top, and that group will spread out, but our riders just coming up on to the top of the climb, and you can see as they go over the top, it is very, very quick. This is the only flat section at the top of the climb. It's literally about 8 meters long, and then you drop back down in. Having been to Innsbruck, I can tell you, it is very much like that on the streets there. It gives you that very quick ascent and then that very quick descent. A very difficult, very tough course to stay together. Now, remember, yellow beacon is the one that you're looking for. Currently at 6.0k. So our yellow is at 6.0k. If you're struggling to see our beacon, so let's see if everybody at the front holds fire just to let the beacon go on. The yellow beacons hold a consistent pace. They are the speed controller of the ride. If you're going too hard too early, odds are you're just going to get a kick in later on. You'll rip the group apart. And to be honest, you're probably on the wrong ride. You really want to be with the riders around yellow, trusting that yellow beacon that they will lift it up. We don't get so many new FTP, so many new 5-second powers, so many new course records without knowing what we're doing, believe me.
Yeah, 5-minute best power ever for Holly Bergen last week. So that shows you when she had an epic ride last week. It was amazing to watch, so really, really good. But I think the phrase that we're looking for, isn't it, is everyone back to yellow.
Yeah, everybody back to yellow. That is the way to go. The big pillar, the beacon in the sky is key. Let's get a little bit of a watch across as Lisa Jane Lake comes through. So the group at the front just easing right off to get the yellow beacon. Remember, the yellow beacon is going to be in there. Good to see that Holly is enjoying herself on there. So, Joe, let's just take a little bit of a look. I think you may be right. We're just going to take a little bit of a look back. Looks like Noble just at the back. That is going to be Amy just either with a dropout or a stop there. So, looks like a chase on for the red beacon now. This is why it's tough. Oh, Amy back up and moving. So, clearly issues for Amy there. And she's back up and riding now. So, Amy, if you're listening and if anybody's on the message board, a quick reminder out to our riders would be really handy. If you get distanced by more than about 20 seconds, leave the ride and rejoin, and it will drop you back in the group.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think for Amy, that is going to be key. So if anybody fancies sticking a message saying, Amy Noble, drop out, rejoin, come back, it will bring you back in the pack. Thank you. That'll be really, really good. I would love to be able to put that in on the message board from us, but if we do it, you won't see it because you're not near enough.
Yeah, and Jo very quickly is just moving forward now to the riders in front of her, so our red beacon will pick up the next group on the road.
Indeed, and Amy will continue to push, so Amy needs to drop out of the ride and then rejoin. That's it. Seeing plenty of those messages going in now. Hopefully it will come into Amy's psyche because she's putting in a monstrous ride at the moment. She's on a bit of a mission, but it's a long mission because you can see 1 minute 50 at the moment. It is going to be Lisa So Lisa and Joe, and I think it is also going to be Sarah McConnell just in here. So Joe just dropping to look after Lisa and Sarah. So I think that could well give a little bit of a helping hand, to be honest, to the riders. So Sarah McConnell in here. Get to see Sarah on the ride and making way in and along, going very nicely there. Nice pedal cadence, 92 revs per minute. And then just seeing Lisa in with her. They haven't got too much of a gap in our Red Beacon Joe. Just going back to give them a hand. So 3 riders together, I think, as Joe picks that pace up. So if these 3 work together now, that's going to give them a nice group. And that is key, isn't it, Emma?
Yeah,
Find a group. Right on.
It is, and we talked earlier on about it being something for everybody, and it is just that. If you want to come on the Donny Chaingang for an hour of chat and banter and a ride round at around 2.5 watts per kilo, you can. You know, if you want to come on and you want to warm up, take the ramped pace and then go all out for full guns once the GGG is gone, you can as well. So there is something for everybody, and like you said, Matt, those people who have got tired legs from racing last night, great opportunity to have a bit of banter and to spin your legs out.
And of course you've got to remember the key skills of drafting, getting in the line, using those stronger riders, taking your turn on the front. They're learned generally when you're in the Red Beacon group rather than necessarily the Yellow Beacon group.
Oh yeah, the last thing you want to be doing in the Red Beacon group is everybody riding at the same watts per kilo, because if you're riding at the same watts per kilo, you're in a line across the road and you're not taking any benefit from riding in a group. So currently there's 3 people in that back group, so if Joe Mundell, our Red Beacon, is on the front of that group at about 2.5 watts per kilo, the rider in second position could probably be around 2 watts per kilo and the rider in third about 1.8, and the actual draft and mechanism will work nicely, and hence people take some recovery whilst not pulling on the front. So that whole concept of a chain gang and through and off, or a time trial or a team time trial when we see it, you know, the rider in the front is doing the harder pace to pull, the riders behind are taking the recovery and having an easier ride.
So 4 distinct groups, if not 5, on the road at the moment. Our Red Beacon group of Joe, Sarah McConnell along with Lisa, going to be pulling along. They're going to be looking to see whether they can get up to not here. This is Nina Ott. So Nina has got a group coming behind as well. The next group up the road is a group of 3 riders. So we have got, I think, Sheila Tam in here. We've got Lisa Jane Late, and we've also going to have our rider, which is going to be Nicole Knevel from the Netherlands. So Nicole, along with Lisa Jane Late and with Sheila, jump in with Lisa Jane Late, jump on the wheel, use it as a tow, and let's see how close you can get, because I know Lisa, one of our real strong riders, a regular Red Beacon and a Yellow Beacon. She knows what she's doing.
Oh, absolutely, and again, she raced last night and has been racing over the last few weeks, so you know, choices as to what to do and how to ride, but yeah, so Foxy, Lisa Jane Late knows exactly what she's doing.
So let's take a little bit of a run up the road. So that bunch is rolling at a pace at the moment. You can see it's constantly shedding riders at the moment as it makes its way in through town. There are a lot of bodies being shed off the back of this group. Daisy Freer not likely to be one of them. Izzy Torrey just on a bit of a chase to get back in here. Just seeing Daisy having to go up to about 5.5 watts per kilo just to catch on. And that is so strong, isn't it, that draft?
I think Daisy was being nice there and trying to give Izzy Torrey a bit of a tow. She was just hanging off the back of the group because Izzy was pushing the power down to come back on, and I think Daisy was doing a really nice thing there and just helping out and giving her a bit of extra draft a little bit further back off the group, and then she had to put a bit of power down herself to catch back on. But neither of those riders, Daisy and Izzy, more than capable of getting themselves back onto the group.
So just seeing our Red Beacon here with Lisa as well. So 2 riders making the way through. It looks like Noble just at 9k. Then we've got Lisa. Then it's Joe together. So Joe giving it a tow on the way through, and Keita riders a pair here for them. They've got Nina in front, and then we're going to have Sheila, Nicole and Lisa Jane. And then it's going to be our mag speed rider. It is the former world champion, is Tracy Fletcher, former world champion at the cyclocross. And don't forget, brand new episode of the Crosscast out today, including the women's 40 to 44. He says confidently, yeah, 40 to 44.
You are correct.
World champion at the Masters Cyclocross, who retained her title, the one and only Kerry Styler.
Yeah, so everyone, that has indeed dropped that episode, so take a listen. I understand from the recording the other night that Keris is fantastic on the Crosscast, so really good to take a listen.
Yep. Oh, good to see. We've got Sarah McCall just jumping back in again now. It is. I love the comment from Tracy saying, "Do you know what? This course is a rat bag to keep together." It absolutely is. I am 100% with you there, Tracy.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it's a rat bag once it goes as well, Tracy, because once you let the hammer down, you know, it is a real hard one, and it rewards a really brave rider.
Need a centre sweep. Yeah, we can actually start to have more sweeps in, but I'll be honest, at the moment, just getting a red beacon and a yellow beacon is a bit of a mission. I know that we are forever thankful to everybody who does volunteer. If you think that it's a really difficult job, it is, but it's also the most rewarding job in the world ever.com. It's far more fun than commentating on it, and I love commentating on it. But being a beacon is real class. So remember, it is a case of jump in, volunteer, get in touch with Emma. You can do that at Biking Emma across pretty much every platform known to man on social media. You can get hold of her on the Facebook pages of the Donny Chaingang, on Instagram. You can get hold of her with smoke signals, carrier pigeon, however you need to. Just get in touch with her and let her know.
If someone could please send me a carrier pigeon, I would be really pleased. It would really make not just my day or my week, it would probably make my year if a carrier pigeon turned up with a message.
Oh, do you know what? That might have to be done. Well, you're getting on a bit now. You've got a birthday.
You could send me one for my birthday. That would be cool. That would be the best birthday present ever.
The only problem with carrier pigeons, they're homing pigeons, really, so they only ever go home. So it only actually works if you've got one at home.
Oh, no, we don't want a pigeon. We've got a dog, that's enough.
Yeah, he flies enough as it is. Right, let's have a little look at our main group. We've done a lot of focusing on the riders a little bit further back. This is my favourite name of the day, barnonever.com. Doesn't get any better. Carolyn, you take the prize. Smoky pastry. Get in. If only I could eat pastries. Smoky pastry. Love it. Great name. We've got Vicky Jones in. It looks like Joe Jarvis in here. Daisy Freer. We've got Alex McChesney from Bath sitting in here as well. Looks like Pascal's back in. Let's have
I'm laughing because I'm reading. I just read Lisa's message, and now I'm going to call her Lisa Jane Cake.
Yeah, Lisa Jane Cake. That is, don't. That's just mean.
Oh, Holly's birthday is Sunday.
Happy birthday, Holly, for Sunday. You can always come and join us on a different race platform on Sunday if you really want to be daft enough to race on your birthday.
Joe Jarvis's is the 25th. There's a lot of birthdays this time of the year.
There is. All the best people have got birthdays in winter, and all the best people who don't have birthdays in January just wish they had. Right. So just taking a little bit of a look. It looks to me like Nina could be swept up by the group behind by Lisa. They're continuing to push as hard as they can, I think. And then we've just got Knivel on as well. That's Nico just up the road. So groups needing to get themselves together. It's really difficult though because it feels like there's no advantage on this course to draft, but there really is, isn't there?
Yeah, there is indeed. That draft advantage is there. It just is one of the tricky courses. You know, the other week we were on Tempest Fugit. You can't get an easier course to actually keep a group together because it works. Here with the changing gradients, it really does take an effect. So it just creates a different type of ride where there are smaller groups across the road rather than one very large pack for a long time.
And one of the things that is key though, this is a very typical race route. It's used for a lot of racing and this style. And learning how to modulate your power, not waste energy in a group by going on the front. Basically staying off the front as much as possible is absolutely key.
Oh, yes. And that's it, isn't it? And actually being confident to recover in the group is really key, and to manage your effort, because as we always say, the only time to be on the front of the group is when you cross the line, and it's not the person with the highest watts per kilo that wins the race.
It is indeed. Now, as we go up here, Katie Loker on the climb. Pip Morn, another of our real regular riders. Great to see Pip on board, taking the prize for the most colour coordinated socks, short sleeves and hat of the day.
Oh, and now you see that.
Sartorially elegant.
Yep, that works for me. It really does. The only thing is you need some pink gloves.
But they're blue to match the
I
jersey,
know.
maybe. Or maybe the ride-ons, I don't know.
Yeah, that's very true. No, but it is. I do like a bit of colour coordination, and I like a bit of colour coordination in real life as well. It often frustrates me because I don't have that many, how should we say, sets of riding kit where the socks and everything match.
Excuse me?
Often I've got some really nice jerseys, but then I haven't really thought about the socks and glove combo.
For anybody listening, that was just the biggest load of poop that I've just heard. This
Oh,
is the woman who has like suitcases loads of, this is my winter riding kit, this is my summer riding kit, this is my riding kit for days that
Now
have
you're
a Y
reminding
and an
me
S
of when
in
I
there.
used to ride a bike, so please stop and let's move on.
Yeah.
I say that, everybody. I have been out for a couple of rides on an e-bike recently.
Indeed.
So things are improving.
Now, just keeping an eye, we've got Diane Elmore in here. So Diane just coming up on to the top of the climb here. So Diane, you're going to need to push right over the top. That group will have accelerated out of the way. Diane on a very nice bike here. Not the trick with the deep rims on there. One of my favourite combos. I always liked this. It was one of the early aero bikes actually on Swift, very early on in its evolution. And it was one of the really fast setups. I really did like this. Used it quite a lot, raced on it, actually did quite well in the races with those as well. There you go. Right, well, let's have a look. Just in with Pia at the moment, so Pia just a little bit distance from that group. Got to push on here, Pia. You need to squeeze, Elizabeth, same for you. This is where it pays to be in that group. Yellow Beacon will be trying to keep a little bit of a lid on it, I think, at the moment, as they come down here. You know, basically, stay off the front. It's a golden rule used by Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, the man who takes over from Russ when Russ is not around.
Yeah, but look at the pace of that pack, though. That 55 kph as they're rolling down that hill together, and it really does create some fast-moving groups, this course.
It does, and it's about staying in. Look, you see at the back here, we've got people just making contact with that group. Looks like Arantxa just nicely tucked in there. Tracy in there. Wheel, please, shouts Holly. Somebody's got to go back if they're going to give her a chance to get on. This is Holly, who was racing last night. Holly, you're on some very nice kit there, like in the deep rim. Again, another of my favourites, the aero frame, deep rim front disc rear, super fast. Problem that Holly's got, she's not right on the pace. Looks like Kearney coming back, one of your teammates, Emma.
Yeah, so Becky's just come back there. In fact, she had challenges getting in today. She's dropped out and dropped back in and made the benefit of it dropping back in with the group after some early challenges, but exactly showing you exactly how it's done, how to drop back off the group, just hang back, create the draft a little bit further back to allow the riders to get on. So she'll be very well practiced in that.
Right, let's take a little bit of a run back. So looks to me like Nina just off the pace. You've got Lisa Jane down here. Lisa is currently a minute off the main group. You've got Nina just behind, as a further minute back. We're going to have our next riders to be Nicole just going up over the top. They are not going to make contact here. We are currently at 30 minutes into the ride. That means it is not worth the risk of going out. You won't get back in. Don't do it. It's not worth it, believe me. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a look. Good to see that we've got some more of our electric spirit riders back on the Chaingang, once again in the orange and white. I know they were out and racing.
Yeah, and it's really, I think that it's such a vibrant kit that you can really see it. And when we had the three of them team time trial away off the front the other week, that was just absolutely epic. So really good to see that they're coming back again, and it's great to see that kit in the pack.
And I noticed that comment there from Pia. She basically said, if you're not on the wheel as you go over the top, you are done for, and you are.
Absolutely.
It really is a course where you've got to stay on the wheel even when everybody is off. Now, Pia, you've got behind you Elizabeth. So Elizabeth and Pia, get yourselves together as a group. You've also got, not all that far back, Diane. So this could be a group of 3 really strong riders here. And I think this would make a really nice group to push on. And they've gotten all that far behind Lisa Jane Late, who's going to be closing in quite quick, I suspect. So you've got Pia, you've got Elizabeth, you've got Diane, and this is where it's key. You can just see them coming up together here. Now, guys, work together, jump as a group together. This is where you can make a difference to the finish. 2 riders is better than 1. You just see Pia just lifting that pace. Oh, that was nicely done. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is what we want to see. Nicely jumping in behind the wheel.
And never think you're out of it. I mean, we had a teammate last night on the squad I was working with who had a dropout on the first lap of the race and ended up finding herself out of the lead group and into 67th place by the time it had reconnected. But you know what? You just keep going. You're not the ride is not finished till you're over the line, and she went from 67th to 28th by the time she made the finish line. People will come back to you, and it's exactly the same on this course. People come back, groups come back, and you push on and you keep riding. You know, just because you've lost the connection, find somebody else, make a small group, pick up riders, work together, and work until you cross the finish line.
And we're just seeing Nina just take a PB on that sprint. 34 seconds for Nina. Nicely done, Nina. Great to see. Still getting in some fresh times. Behind is Nicole. Then it's going to be Joe. And then Lisa behind her. These riders all nicely together. But look at this. It looks like Elizabeth and Pia working together nicely. They're going to be coming in. They've got Claire Jessup now. Claire is a really strong rider. But again, another rider I think who's had a tough time. She was actually on the Chaingang, I think, yesterday. But we did have limited numbers on the Chaingang yesterday because a lot of people were racing. Certainly a limited number of female riders, I think, due to the race teams in action. But Claire has riders coming behind. You've got Elizabeth and Pia about 12 seconds down. They could close down that gap. Meanwhile, looks to me like Laura Cheeseman just stretching her legs off the back there as McChesney just takes the pressure off those pedals. If that's a dropout, make sure you grab a rider on the way through. Just taking a little bit of a check.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? You know, quite a few people this week have had problems, I know, with dropouts and things like that taking place, and sometimes things are not as stable as you'd like them to be, but you know, find a group, jump in a group, and stay together and ride.
Yeah, definitely, and we even here, you'll have seen it on your screens, we are getting the odd drop, the odd moments where things are just disappearing. We see riders go, and we know absolutely for a fact it isn't our processors, our graphics, or our internet connection. Let's face it, I think we could probably land something on the moon from here.
Yeah, that is true.
So let's have a look. Caroline not ready to get dropped yet. 2 right. Come on, stick in there. Come on, Laura. We know you can do it. Laura Cheeseman's doing an absolute classic.
Yeah. And it is indeed, you know, often the biggest effort is the push back onto the group. It's so easy just to take your eye off the ball for a second and find yourself hanging on the back, but it's really worth that big dig to get back in and to push back into the comfort of the middle of that group.
It is, and it's a good sized group. I mean, we're looking at 20 riders still in here. Remember, we've gone over the halfway marker. We've gone over 2 laps covered, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, so we are well and truly moving now into lap 3, and the pace is moving and the group is moving really strongly, so just shy of 40 kph at the moment with this group rolling through together at the moment around that yellow beacon.
It is indeed, and I think we're going to see a few people start to feel the effects of racing. Matt, can we see Lisa? We can see Lisa. 15 seconds down at 1.7 watts per kilo, Joe. You've got Nicole in front of you, then Nina as well. So just giving a heads up, and in fact, Lisa just disappearing off our. Oh no, she's back again. It's because you're on the fold in the map, basically.
Yeah, so our yellow beacon is calling up to 3 watts per kilo, so we are starting to move and we are starting to ramp now on the WOW DCG tonight.
Yep, it's starting to get wound up. Expect to see a few more bodies getting distanced off. And that means there'll be a few people to snaffle up. If you are one of our runners who may be not on the pack at the moment, if you are our two here, Pia and Elizabeth, they are on the hunt here. I think they look to be coming for Claire Jessup at about 100 mile an hour here. There's a camera shot there. That was, it looked that was really mad.
Yeah.
Because you could just see they're coming along, and if Claire jump in with these guys, they've got a really nice rhythm going. It has to be said. It looks like Pia and Elizabeth are in there. So, looking good in there. Now, let's take a little bit of a look on our main group left on the road at the moment. We've got 23 riders, by my reckoning, still in this group. Subject to confirmation and all that sort of malarkey. 20 riders now, according to that, which I don't believe for a second.
No, the 23 I think is the right one, Matt.
God, I'm glad I got you with us down there in the studio. You can keep a check of the numbers. My counting not my strong point at the moment. But too much lifting and
now
too
you see,
much
look,
thinking.
that's nice colour coordination. The green of the Tron bike picking out the green of the Aeonian kit.
You're only saying that because you used the green bike before. I actually like the pink version, which is going to be, I think, Joe. If I get my riders right.
There you go. Joe's on the other side.
Yeah, indeed. I think that's a much better coordination. But that's just me. But I'm not a fan of the Tron bike, so because it's not the best at anything.
No, it's a complete all-rounder.
But that means master of nothing.
Oh.
I know it because I'm pretty good at lots of things, but I'm not great at anything. I'm probably, let's face it, sums up my racing career really. Not bad at everything, but pretty rubbish at most of it. Let's have a look. This group going well. There's no rubbish in this. Is absolutely flying at the moment, and you can just see this group behind this. Looks like Claire Jessup got a group here. So Claire,
nice group that.
Yeah, Claire, Pia, and Elizabeth rolling along nicely here, and. If we take a look, getting in that slipstream, guys, getting the modulation right is key here. So Pia, Claire, Elizabeth, make sure you get in behind a wheel and make sure you use it because that is absolutely key. So let's take a little bit of a check to our leading group. I had to think about what I wanted to say then. That's a rarity. You just open your mouth and it all pours in.
Yeah, we often notice that you're not thinking.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Oh, okay, right. We'll talk about the action now, Matt, and not slate each other. How's that?
Ah, it's boring now. Actually, it's not. That's the worrying thing.
No,
there's the slating even when there is lots of great action.
Yeah, though I have to agree with Tracy. This blob at the front here is looking really good. People are riding through and off and actually rotating on the front, which is really nice to see.
And that's why it's driving away as well. That's why that gap is opening, even though we're seeing Pia and Claire and Elizabeth doing a great job there of keeping a pace and a high pace as well. I mean, they're not dropping below like 2.5 on the front. Generally, they're up near the 3 watts per kilo. But the group in front just has that advantage, doesn't it? It has strength in depth.
Yeah, it has numbers, though. Like you say, the 3 of them are tapping along at just under 40 kph, which is not much different to how this group on the front are moving. But there are just more numbers in this group, as you say.
There is indeed. Now, we're coming into our 3rd ascent of the leg snapper. The question is going to be, at what point will it all explode and all go a little bit pear-shaped? Hopefully not right now, because I'm not actually looking at my screen. I'm looking at Amber's screen instead.
That's okay, because I'm looking at mine.
That's a good job. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens at the moment on the go in the studios. So we've got lots of different options of what to watch where, who's up to what. We're currently riding in with Izzy Torrey on the main screens. And as you can see, Izzy 162 beats per minute, another of our already regular riders on Chaingang. And great to see it in here. Vicky Jones in here as well. Vicky knows the score. Vicky, one of our great riders. And Vicky really instrumental in pulling groups together again. We saw that last week. It was really interesting to see. Looks like Emma Marvin back in again.
Yeah, and I have to say, Tracy's going to try and take these women all over the top of this climb together, but at 3 watts per kilo pace, this is going to be tricky on the back of this group. If this group can go up at 3 watts per kilo and actually hold it all together, that would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can do that. I think it's a brave move by our beacon, trying to take them all up there together. There's going to be some itchy legs in there. Interesting to see somebody's dropped burrito in there. Still haven't managed to get rid of all our burritos. I keep on putting the request in, don't give us negative power-ups. It's the only negative power-up, the only negative action power-up actually within the game.
Though I do think the addition of the power-up to the Donny Chaingang this year has been a really interesting factor that has changed some of the dynamics and some of the riding together. You know, have seen some really good drops of ghosts in at times, which
Gareth the Ghost.
Yeah, which has been really good, but also the ability to actually get yourself back onto the group by using an aero or by using a feather on a climb, just being able to stay in that group and giving yourself a little bit of help to do so, which is a fantastic thing to see.
Well, now we're just starting to see the pressure come on. Looks like Angela just on the back. Come on, Angela. You know the score here. You've got to be on. You've got to be on the group.
Can't let 2 seconds go.
Let that gap go, it will not be there. Watch this gap. Come on, Angela. Push, 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 push. This is key. Absolutely key. Watch this gap open. Angela is going to have to really push over the top. But you've got to remember, Angela may well have been hanging on all the way in there. This is so key because the gap opens and look how fast it has strung out. New personal record for Angela, though, on the way over. So clearly giving it everything over the top. But look at the pace of this group on the way through. We're with our yellow beacon group here. They're on the descent down. We're going to be coming up. They've got a little kicker of a riser coming at the moment, but this group just dropping the yellow beacon actually on the way through here.
Yeah.
So the yellow needing to make the most of the momentum and catch back on here, or they're going to be in trouble. And let's see what happens as this group starts to come back together once again.
Yeah, it's a nice little section. That little rise does allow you to push hard actually, because quite often a lot of the riders will take the aero tuck on that bit of the descent and then spin their pedals a little on the climb before they start to drop again. And actually, if you can really think about what you're doing, it gives you a great opportunity just to close a gap that might have been created on the top of that climb on that small rise.
Well, I think Angela now can wave goodbye to the group. Take some rest, Angela. Make sure you use that power where you need it on those climbs if you can. You've got riders coming behind. You've got that fantastic group of Elizabeth and Pia. I think Claire just rolling over the top a little bit quick. So looks to me like Angela just distance, but look at this, the group coming in towards sprint. There's having to be a bit of a push here. I think Kearney, Pip Morn as well, Intra a little bit of trouble here. They have to keep squeezing or they're going to get distance. Remember, 6 meters is the key number. 6 meters will keep you in the hunt, it will keep you in the mix, and it will keep you chasing with that draft. More than 6 meters or 3 bike lengths, you're not getting maximum draft.
Yeah, and it's one of those bits at the moment where the group starts to get a bit twitchy. We are 43 minutes into this ride, and it is twitchy, and it's going to go boom at some point, but that confetti just keeps on giving today. We had confetti over the top of that hill. We've got confetti on that sprint. You know, this pack is moving at a really fast pace, and it's got to keep going for the next lap too.
Well, look at this. You're just seeing Arantxa. Come on, Arantxa, you've got to squeeze now. Don't get dropped. You've got Pip leading you through here. Use that draft. You got Angela behind if you need her, but I think the pressure on now is starting to get in there now. Barbara's just made it back into that group. The question will be, though, behind Barbara, the question is, where are those riders?
Yeah, I'm sure Becca won't mind you calling her Barbara.
Sorry, but yeah, sorry, Becca. Do you know what? I'm just going to go get a coffee.
Okay, we'll leave this, yeah. So we'll hand over there.
Go on, you carry on. I'll do the fingers, you do the talking bit.
No, this group are going to come back. We've got this, you know, their group is slowly moving back together again. We are nearly 45 minutes into this WOW DCG today, and this pack with the yellow beacon is rolling and rolling strongly. We've got a few groups split across the road, groups coming together and working together. This pace and this course is causing problems and causing damage to the group, but we knew it would. It's not the flatlands like Tempest Fugit where we can hold a group together really easily. These changes in pace and this ramped effort that we put through this Donny Chaingang really starts to take its toll.
And you can see the group dynamics here, because Pip is now going to have to ride, I think, with Arantxa here, but I'm sure it won't be long before we see lots more people getting spat out of that group. Let's see how they roll going from here. Now it's going to be very interesting indeed. Let's see how everybody goes on and through. So time to keep rolling. I think everybody just about holding this group. There's a few people just sitting at the back being a little bit smart here. Look, going to be one of those riders in there. We've got Ross in here as well. That's Michelle. Nicely tucked in this group. Joe Blackburn, always one to watch, let's face it. Definitely a rider to be afraid of when that trigger is pushed. So remember, when we hit the line, there's only 8.8k left to go. Only 8.8k left to go when they hit the line this time around. It certainly looks to me like the group shedding body, so there are people all the way out and around circuit now pretty much. In fact, it's almost as easy for us to jump from our riders who are chasing back into the front of the group, because we can jump in reverse on the way through.
Yeah, so look at that, 1 lap to go, 1 lap to go.
Let's see the power-ups being used. Let's see who's using what at the moment. So the pressure is on. The question will be, are we going to see aggressive moments as they go? It is 1 lap to go. It's being held very late at the moment by our yellow beacon. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what is going to happen, because it's going to be extremely explosive. Basically, the later it is until the trigger point, the more damage that is done when the button is pressed.
Yeah, so I think indeed we're all feeling the need for speed, Tracy, and I think you guys are showing it to us at the moment, because at the moment that pack's moving close to 45 kilometres per hour, and it is still all hanging together. We've still got more than 20 riders in that group at the moment, Matt.
We have indeed. That's still a big pack. It's basically half the group still left together with 1 lap left to go. 8.8k. Now this, if I was riding this, I'd be loving this, because it means it stays together longer. I can sprint, I can get away with it. I don't need to be able to keep a consistent effort. I can be smart if I've used that draft, stay in there as long as possible. We're just starting to see the group get twitchy though.
Yeah, and I'd be getting twitchy in there as well, watching the positions, watching where the yellow beacon is, watching what's coming up on the screen. You know, this is that danger time at the moment, because, you know, if you miss the words on the screen, it's gone.
Indeed, and just keeping an eye on our riders. This is going to be very, very interesting. Just watching those heart rates, we do get people's heart rates going up through the roof before the trigger point as our riders go along. We're just doing with Joe Jarvis at the moment. This group still holding together. We should have few. Oh, and the go has gone. It's go.
Hey, and the hammer goes down, and those fire socks are flaming off that back of that bike, because the riders are riding and they're pushing hard.
Here we go. We are in with Izzy Torrey. She's got company though, and this is where you're going to see some of those tired legs suddenly start screaming out. But look who's on the front. It's Holly from the Coalition Squad. Holly Bergen in here. Well, this is going to be interesting. She's gone to the front, and look at the damage that's being done behind. This is going to be tough stuff here. Now, who is in trouble? It looks like Carolyn Smoky Pastry in trouble here. Looks like Michelle Ross. Come on, Michelle, time to push. This is key. Can you get back in? If not, grab yourself a group. There are riders in 2s and 3s behind you, and that is going to be really, really key here as these riders go through.
Yeah, it is indeed really, really key. If you are off the pace and you get dropped from that front group, find yourself a riders, find the other riders on the road, work together and work at the pace that you want to ride at tonight through and into the finish.
So Angela and Claire together, looks like Pia and Elizabeth together, looks like we are going to see Elmore and Late together. We know Joe has got company as well, but up at the very front of this group, we are still seeing bodies start to go. We're just taking a little bit of a look. Looks like Ross has gone. I think Webster just holding the back of this pack. We're just going to take our camera up. So this is what's left of that main group at the moment. Going to be interesting to see what happens here. Nobody going for it. I love this overpass. This is my favourite mean spot. It's a 2% drag. Everybody thinks, oh, I'll save my legs for the other side. Uh-oh, not a chance if I'm around, because this is where you can really make people's legs hurt. And then it puts them in trouble for the climb. So if they're a climber and you're not necessarily the lightest climber, but you can go uphill, this is a great spot. I love this, particularly as you roll over the top, because those at the back are going to struggle. So let's take a look. Let's see who is on the move. It is Joe Blackburn. Well, this is dangerous. It isn't a move that you can let go. Quickly on that, so was Loka as well. So Katie Loka has gone straight on the wheels there. No surprises, Katie was absolutely flying last week.
Becca Kearney's coming through. Holly from the Coalition Squad. We saw Laura Cheeseman there as well, putting out some orange numbers. They have seen the danger. We've seen Joe time trial away from the WOW DCG before. The first day she rode, she time trialed off the front and no one knew what had hit them. They've got wind of her tactics now, and they start to go and they keep an eye on her. She's a marked rider, but Cheeseman sticking out 6.2 watts per kilo. Blackburn going at 8.2 again. This is getting fast and furious on the front, but it's still a big group moving together and moving really fast today.
And don't forget, of course, this group have the leg snapper in front, but then the drop down, the climb back up the bank, and then that run in, and it's a long straight sprint in to the finish. Very difficult to get right, to get the perspective right, but I think we're just seeing another dig on the front, and I think it's going to be Blackburn again, who's just keeping that pace high. She's keeping them honest, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Loka keeps covering it, and Freya's there today as well. Daisy Freya, one of our younger riders, an under-18 rider on the WOW DCG, riding really strongly again.
I wouldn't discount Daisy. Daisy, I tell you something.
The climb will work for her today.
Oh, very much so. Do you like my magic camera? It's great, isn't it? So as we just look from beneath the row, we're just keeping an eye on Daisy. Let's get up above the cobbles. Daisy's one of our riders who finishes our first female rider on the Open Donny Chaingang on a Tuesday and Thursday comfortably at times. So it is dependent, I think, on whether this course will suit her. She's definitely got a great kick on her. Interesting to see our yellow beacon putting down that steamroller at the moment, using it to stay with the group rather than go clear at the front. That's an interesting tactic. Is the yellow beacon in trouble?
Well, you don't remember, there is a big group still on the road, and the benefit of taking the draft and taking it as easy as possible until the last moments, you know, that is a tactical reason to use a power-up.
It is, just not a very tactically aggressive move. But then again, this is only Chaingang, and you do exactly what you want. There you go, confirmation from Tracy as they come in and through. So now we start to see more power-ups. Interesting, we're seeing feathers going down there. People are chucking them down left, right and centre at the moment, and it looks to me like we're going to try and stay in this group if it kills me. Laura Cheeseman has put a feather down. She went clear with a feather on the go. She's been covered by Katie Loka, but Becca Kearney. Why do I want to call her Barbara? Change your name, Becca.
No, just remember, Matt. So Cheeseman's going, Loka's following, Blackburn's in 3, Kearney's in 4, Izzy Torrey is going as well. These are really strong riders. Pascal is moving through, Freya is working her way up that climb on Pascal's wheel. So these are moving really strongly, and we've got a group of 3, it looks like, who's going to take this right hand corner and go over the top of this climb together.
And they've got Izzy Torrey potentially going to chase, but look how fast the gap opens. We've said this time and time again on this course, if you're not on a wheel, you're going to be in trouble. We're seeing personal best times up the leg snapper every time, and you can just see everybody getting a new time. But look at this, what a trio of riders. Laura Cheeseman, Katie Loka, Joe Blackburn. I'm so glad I'm not in this race after all now.
Yeah, but Torrey and Kearney need not to give up on this, because it's a good 5-minute run to the finish line. So it's not just this descent that counts. They are not finishing at the sprint line at the bottom of this descent. They're finishing at the orange arch. So that means they've still got nearly 4K still to go. This is still a good effort and a strong effort it's going to take to win this today.
Well, interesting to see. I think just as they hit that climb, We saw a little bit of a kick there from Joe Blackburn as she went up and over, and it was answered by Loka. But look at this, Loka is riding incredibly smart, using that tuck, making sure she gets as many rests in as possible on the way through.
Yeah, and that's it, isn't it? So Cheeseman now gapped by 5 seconds, but still on this descent, while Blackburn and Loka 1, 2 tucked together, riding closely. Torrey not far off the back of Cheeseman, and actually, do you know what? It would be really good for Cheeseman and Torrey to come together, because 2 on 2 is better than 2 on 1 on 1.
It is indeed. At the moment, though, those gaps are out. It is 2 seconds between Izzy and Laura, but I think they're going to come back together again here, Emma. And look at the group behind.
Yeah.
You've got Holly from the Coalition squad. You've Beth Pascal. Kearney's there, Jones is there.
And
there's a big old group of 4 riders. They could close this down.
They could do indeed. And Loka's kicking on the front because she wants none of it, because a chasing group of 6 strong riders of that quality would really put the cat amongst the pigeons of the front 2 today.
Here we go. So if you're watching live, get ready to hang on to the edge of your seats here on the WOW DCG. Joe Blackburn and Katie Loka have a gap. But look at this. This is the 2 chasers. They have got company coming, and it is in the shape of 4 riders. And you can just see it is Pascal in here. Now, these 6 riders need to work together. It needs to be 6 against 2, because the 2 up the road, you've got Loka and Blackburn. 2 absolutely phenomenal riders up at the front, and this needs everybody's work. If you sit on it, if you're going to be a passenger, you're probably going to find that your train won't reach the station on time. You're going to be left short of that platform, and you're not going to be able to come in to the sprint. The gap, though, 13 seconds. It's coming down. It's hovering 12 to 13 seconds as we go round the side of the page. Apologies for the pause in transmission. We will get there shortly.
We will indeed, whilst Matt enhances his mouse skills. We've got Blackburn and Loka in 1 and 2. A 9-second gap now, back to a chasing group of 6. This, you can see them now on the back shot actually coming through, and that pack of 6 are moving and moving strongly. Blackburn and Loka are looking like they are about to get caught, as this lead group of 2 is going to become a lead group of 8.
I'm going to tell you it isn't. Because I think these 2, they might be playing this smart, but surely they're not going to leave it to a sprint. After putting in that effort, are they reliant on the riders behind? Blackburn, look at this, winding it up. Loka winding it as well. She's responding. Come on, Katie, get on that wheel. Look at this. The 2 riders, they can see that where they are. They, you know, that number 6 key on the keypad is absolutely critical.
They have got 1 kilometre to hang out here, and hang out they are. It's gone from 11 seconds to 6 seconds to 5 seconds to back out to 7 seconds. That chase group are working, but Loka and Blackburn are absolutely adamant they are staying away.
I'll tell you something, Beth Pascal's doing a lot of this work on the run in here. The riders with them need to take turns here, or they're going to be in trouble. Not just because they won't catch our leaders in time, because the banner is in front of them, but equally because they could get caught from behind as well. So let's take a look. Here we go. It's going to be Loka who's going to lead this out. Is she going to take this from Blackburn? Blackburn's put the draft in at the right time. Has she got the sprint? This is going to be so close. Surely Katie's going to get this. It's going to come down to line. Blackburn cannot make it. Then behind it's going to be Izzy Torrey who's going to take the group through. That's how close they got. Then it's going to be Kearney, Jones. It's Holly from Coalition, Beth Pascal, Laura Cheeseman going through. That was close.
Yeah, and I think Daisy Freer, our young rider on the WOW DCG today, is going to come in and take a top 10 place. That was a massive effort and a great last lap.
It was indeed. Now, here we go. Is it going to be the Yellow Beacon who's going to lead him in through the line here? I think it is. I think Kearney's legs are just going, ouch. Katie going, nice one, Joe. So it's going to be a Webster, followed by Jarvis Bratton, and then it's going to be Gilbert coming through, Lee Hawkins on the way. Good to see Sarah Louise Hawkins on her way into the line as well. Got Ruth Taylor behind her. You can see these riders continuing to push in. Remember, when you hit the line this time, time to take the pressure off, spin those legs, and make sure that you get that lactic acid out.
Yeah, there's about a 1.7k warm down to the end of the event blue banner today, so plenty of opportunity just to drop the watts and just to spin those legs.
Well, good to see Ruth Taylor back in and riding once again, just ahead of Mavin here, so she's got to keep on squeezing here, can't afford to relax. That line is coming. Great to see Ruth pushing on once again.
Yeah, so Ruth coming in, Mavin coming through.
Oh, Mavin's
Ross,
coming up pace, look
yeah,
at this.
it's been, and everybody, well, just watching everybody putting their eyeballs out and actually giving it large to that finish line, which is absolutely brilliant.
Wow, look at that. Type 3 from Becca Kearney saying, it's going to take a few days, this one, to get rid of this. Not surprised. That was a great finish, and Katie taking the win there in that last little sprint. Just got the gap, and it was enough.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, they showed how close they came. That group came down to 4 seconds before the front two kicked again, and saw the fact that they were within the K banner to go, and that kick they put on at the front was just enough to hold them clear and hold that chasing group who were coming so fast, with Izzy Torrey taking that lead off of the group to finish third.
So great riding up at the front, in the middle, and all the way through this ride. It is going to be Michelle Ross from the HT Velo who's going to come across the line next. Great riding by Michelle. She comes through as we see our next riders coming in. I think this could be a really interesting sprint here. You've got Carolyn, the smoky pastry, from Zed Sun. You've got a Rancher in here as well. So Rancher could take this, but Pitmore knows how to wind this up. She's done this plenty of times before. Oh,
Has she?
Mean!
Ooh, and the burrito goes down now. That is an absolutely killer one, as Pitmore drops the burrito on the two riders with her as they push through to that finish line. It's not over.
Come on, Rancher, come on!
All the way through the field. Everybody's having their own battle with the riders around them, working together, and the competitive spirit on the finish line.
Wow, that was great to see, wasn't it? You nearly had her on the line. It's so close, fantastic. Now, here we are. Let's see, next rider's on the way in to that finish. Remember, time to warm down once you've gone through that line. And you've got to warm down to that blue banner. So we always include that in there to ensure our riders get a warm down chat, talk about how much your legs hurt, how hard the hills were, how you didn't turn the fan on before you started, which is classic. So next rider's coming in, it's going to be Claire Jessup, being chased by, that's going to be Angela Valley. Then we've got Elizabeth Corridor and Pia Ubelin coming through, then Lisa Jane Light, followed then by Diane Elmore, followed then by Nina Ott, and then it's going to be Joe Amundon, going to be Nicole Neville, and then it'll be Lisa behind these riders all the way around our circuit. But our next rider to hit the line should, fingers crossed, be Claire Jessup.
Perfect timing, look at that. So Jessup just ticking along those pedals, pushing those watts, so she can just look up now and she can see that finish banner in front of her. Then she's got 1.7k to the blue banner of the event finish.
Indeed, so good riding by Claire, and interesting, she was she dropped back a little bit, got a little bit of rest, worked with a couple of riders, then started to push on towards the finish. So great to see Claire on the gang. And don't forget, of course, we're not going to be covering the Chaingang tomorrow. We've got a big travel day coming up tomorrow. Going to be about 17 hours of travelling, if don't even want to think about quite how long it is, but we will be back, of course, next week for all three gangs. That's going to be the Tuesday and Thursday Donny Chaingang, the Open Donny Chaingang for men and women, and then for our Women's Only Wednesday as well. Our route on the Women Only Wednesday next week is going to be, I can't remember off the top of my head, I wouldn't mind, but I put the routes in not all that long ago, so you'll have to wait and see.
Well, I would say keep an eye out on the Donny Chaingang Facebook page, but also if you follow myself at Biking Emma or Matt Payne or Full Speed Events or the Donny Chaingang or indeed Russ Downing on Instagram, you'll find all the information you need coming there. It's straight into your phone.
Even better, or whatever else you use to connect to the Tinterweb.
Indeed.
So well done to Angela coming in and through the line. Next up, this is going to be between Elizabeth and Pia. Looks like Elizabeth just getting the little bit of a gap here. Then it's going to be Pia Oberlin coming through. Lisa Jane Lates, Diane Elmore, Nina Ocho, Munden, Nicole Neville, and then going to be Lisa coming through. So well done to Elizabeth coming in and through the line. Pia immediately behind her. Then it is going to be Lisa Jane Late. So Lisa. A bit of a lonely ride today for Foxy from the Rave Squad.
Yeah, but you know, she's ticking along very nicely there and on her way into the finish. I was going to say just taking a drink there, but obviously that's just her avatar taking a drink.
It's, you know why it's
but
there?
It's a good reminder.
It is there as a reminder.
It's
there to try and remind people to take a drink. And it's amazing how many people drink when their avatar drinks.
I know.
Power suggestion is amazing.
It's a huge thing.
Buy me a winning lottery ticket.
Doesn't work like that.
That's a shame, isn't it?
No.
Damn. Anyway, right. Our riders on the way in. Lisa Jane Lay heading for the line, hopefully keeping straight face with our silliness. Down in the studios, underneath the shadow of the mountains in Innsbruck. Nice place to go, Landa. Actually, I've been through Innsbruck on the way to commentate the Mountain Bike World Championships, and we are going to be. I have 2 more in real life gigs before we go into the gap between the winter and the spring seasons. You can catch up with me at Clanfield Cross, which is a UCI event. You can also, actually, if you are listening to or watching the Cyclocross World Cups, that is going to be all the World Cup Cyclocross in January. So that is going to be Zonhoven, Barcelona, Besançon, and I will be live also at Hoogheide. So I'm going to be at Hoogheide on the world feed as well, but that's actually going to be in person there, and we're remote for the rest of the World Cup. So that's all coming up as well. We'll also be busy on a Sunday. We cover a lot more esports cycling on a Sunday, and you can catch up with the details of that on our social media feed. So make sure you jump in there. Meanwhile, we're going to jump in with the one and only, the living legend that is Lisa Jane Lake.
Yeah, as she sees that orange banner in front of her, she's on that orange Tron. It is drawn to one another as that Tron focuses on crossing that finish line today.
Well, she's on her way in, going to be coming through. I know Lisa's got more than 122 beats per minute in the tank. However, being smart today, and I think giving those legs a little bit of a recovery. So great to see Lisa on the gang. Next rider in is going to be Diane Elmore. Good to have you on the gang, Diane. I think the Velocity kit is a very interesting kit, the purple and orange. I can't decide whether I really like it or I find it just quite upsetting.
So is it purple and orange, or is it maroon and orange?
That's not maroon, that's purple.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, maroon is not that colour. That's not maroon.
Well, maroon is a little bit that colour, isn't it? But maybe maroon's a little bit more redder.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that then. So as Diane comes in and crosses the line today, great riding too.
Yeah, great riding. Good to see nice pedal cadence there. Just over the 80 revs per minute going into the line. Just jumping over the top there, actually, of Nina. So Nina coming round from the sprint. She's on the run in to the finish. Got Joe along with Nicole, and then Lisa, I think, could well be jumping off. Yeah, we are watching, don't worry. There's no chance to take your feet off the pedals in this game because we are watching all the way through. So our next rider to the line is going to be Nina. Now, whilst Nina makes her way into the line, got a couple of big thank yous to say. A massive thank you, of course, to Emma, who is down in the commentary booth, down in the Full Speed Event Studios. A big, big thank you to our beacons, to our red beacon, to Joe, to our yellow beacon. That is Tracy Seeley. And a massive thank you, of course, to everybody who rides on Chaingang. We wouldn't bother doing it if people didn't enjoy it. We always thought we would get a few riders at the start. We never realised it become the behemoth that it is at the moment. And it does take a lot of work. So if you're a member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, if you donate for a month or to the end of the season, we do say thank you by giving you discounts in association with the guys you see up there and at the bottom of the main screen. It's 1080 OT Gritty, Velo Skin, Nonna's Halo and Continental. Don't forget, jump onto the Facebook page for more details of those. If you are a member of the gang in December, remember that does close. I think it's going to be tomorrow night at midnight when it closes. You will be in with a chance of winning some custom Oakleys from Ian Taylor. He's been a long-time supporter of the Chaingang, and in fact, I was working on how long it is I've been using Oakleys, and absolutely swear by them. And then I thought I better not tell you because it makes me seem really, really, really old, not just as old as I really am. So make sure you support the people who support the Chaingang. Make sure you support the people on the DCG Gang. Don't forget, of course, lots of great discounts on there as well. Lots of great Christmas presents you could be buying for people if you're not too late with the couriers being absolutely inundated at the moment. Don't forget, of course, that lots more rides coming up, and we're going to be back next week with the coverage. But there is the Donny Chaingang tomorrow. Going to be an absolute cracker on a brand new course. Will we see Nina on there? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. Nina on her way in to the line. It's coming up back and under the gantry she goes. So well done to Nina. Nina completing the official ride distance. Just a warm down to spin her legs down to go, which means that Joe and Nicole will be our next riders in. Then it's going to be Lisa on that leg snapper, so keeping going, pushing onwards here. 158 beats per minute at the moment, so working on this climb as you would expect. It's a bit of a mean thing, this climb.
It is. It's a bit of a mean course stat, and I always think whenever we put it in here, but I do like this course because it does. Doing the WOW DCG on this course really makes you think about how you ride it if you have to race it in the future.
Yeah, agree 100%. There you go. Should we just stop the show down? We actually agreed on something.
Careful. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It does happen. Matt and I do agree sometimes.
Dun, 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 dun. Right, back to the action. So, Jo Munden, the amazing Jo Munden, on her way into the line. National mountain bike champion, as you'll seen from her jerseys. Great rider off-road, good rider on road as well. Great character and a great supporter of the Chaingang. A big thank you, of course, to everybody who's been a beacon. Jo does have a red beacon above her head, except for us to see. And that is something weird that's going on since the last couple of updates. Hopefully it will re-update and we will get to see them again on the way through, because it's make my life and Emma's life commentating a little bit easier to work out where everybody is. Now, riding with Jo, we have got Nicole. So Nicole in there, and we've also got Lisa out on the course as well. So good to see that Lisa making her way in and through. Nice swift setup actually for Lisa. Very similar actually to Emma's before the pictures came in, with the same wall screen and nice big screen and a computer at the side of it as well. So good setup for Lisa HM, as you would expect. Same, we know Jo, one of our regular riders, got an absolutely cracking setup. And of course Nicole on the course at the moment alongside Jo. And it's not going to be long before they actually get to see that orange banner coming. Looks like Lisa on her way in towards that sprint section.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, isn't it? This is one of those courses where you do get to see that finish banner from a long way out, which in some respects is really useful. In other respects, you just think, oh, will it never arrive, because you see it from so far out. So I'm never really sure whether actually seeing it from a long distance is a good thing or a bad thing.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, but it does tend to make you kick early. Well, it wouldn't you. I'd be tempted, and that would be my problem, because I have no... Yeah, but the difference is I have... My top end is nowhere near. And then...
You're trying to say this without actually giving me any kind of compliment whatsoever.
I was thinking really hard.
You're trying to find a way to say that I...
So King of the Kick, who can put out nearly 2,000 watts, versus, I'm struggling at 700.
Yeah, over 20. I think it was 20.1 watts per kilo, and yes, I have gone over 2,000
I know.
watts.
I live in an unfair house because both my husband and my son can kick out absolutely massive top-end watts. They make me feel, just put them on a 30-minute climb, and I'm laughing. But
yeah,
boy,
you're
in a sprint,
at the top for flipping
for
15
both of you.
minutes.
But boy, you don't want to take either of them in a sprint. They are as bad as each other with too much power Anyway, let's go back to Joe, shall we?
You know, whilst Emma creases up in the corner there. So it is going to be Joe coming in with Nicole. Well done, guys. Great riding here today. So Nicole's going to come in. I think going to get the line first here. Indeed, she does. So well done to Nicole. Nicole coming from the Netherlands, from the home of Hugo Heider from the World Championship Cross. There you go. Never know, maybe out in the crowd to give you a wave. Give us a wave. Bring me a coffee if you can. Joe Mundy coming through. Well done, Joe. Joe, another of our fantastic rare bigs. Amazing job done by Joe today. And another rider whose avatar does look scarily like them as well. So great riding by Joe. And that is going to leave us, I think, Lisa, who is on the course, just about to come through the sprint line, so not all that far behind either. So, whilst Lisa is making her way in, we're going to do a couple of little bits of housekeeping on the way through as well. So, don't forget, we have already had OTE with a massive giveaway. 1 in 4 members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, got basically the equivalent of their month's membership back in OTE goodies. That was in the start of the year. We then moved on from them across into Halo for Halloween, and we had a big giveaway with £250 worth of goodies going out to the members of the DCG gang. Gritty were on again with big giveaways, £250 worth of giveaways going to members of the DCG gang from Gritty, and again 20% off Gritty, 20% off OTE. And we had 20% off Halo for their month as well. We've got, of course, 1080 as our headline sponsor at the moment. We're going to move from 1080 across, and if you're listening, sticking with the coverage, then you're going to get a little bit of a preview, because our next coverage is coming from Velaskin. Now, there are a lot of Velaskin ambassadors out there doing a great job promoting the brand, and they all generally give you 10% off. Now, what we do at the Donny Chaingang is we give you 20% off. That is basically because the guys Andy and Chris are keen riders on the Chaingang. We regularly see them on the Chaingang week in, week out, and we are able, twisted their arms a little bit and got 20, it didn't take much twisting to be honest, 20% off them, because they're so keen on the gang and what it does for everybody. So big discounts coming from them and some giveaways as well in January. When we go from them into February, we're going to be on to Continental. Remember, of course, some new tyres coming out from Continental, and they're what keeps us rolling. Then we're going to go into March, and it is going to be Nonnas to tie in with the start of the classics, things like Milan San Remo, Strada Bianchi, all of those Italian races, as well as the host of the classics. So a classic eatery for cyclists of all shapes and sizes, as well as some very, very famous riders at Nonnas. And of course, we're then going to round out the season, because in April, one of those is coming back. I know, they know, that's it. So that's going to be a surprise about who is coming back. Really looking forward to that. Don't forget, of course, the WOW DCG will run to the end of March. Then it will be just the standard Chaingang in April. But great to see so many of our riders on the Chaingang once again. And I think, Emma, you've got to say it's great to have so many riders coming in. We made the Chaingang open and everybody still plays the game.
Yeah, I know. It's fabulous to see the women's Chaingang open on the events page on Zwift, and everybody, new and old, experienced and inexperienced on the WOW CG working.
It is indeed. So we have reached the end of the show. Great to have everybody on board. Thank you so much for watching the Donny Chaingang. Don't forget, no show tomorrow, but the ride is on. Join Russ on brand new roads on the Chaingang. So from Emma and myself, stay safe, enjoy yourself. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.